99.7 FM.
Evening. Today on Strong and Sassy, we're talking about Gen Z in the workplace. Are they really entitled and difficult to work with, or are they simply bringing a different mindset at work? If you're just joining us, this is Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. We're back another Wednesday evening to have all the important conversations. And we mentioned earlier that our topic today is working with Gen Zs, entitled, difficult, or just different. Okay, and as I said earlier on Newsnight, we're not here to be judgmental or anything of that. So we want to understand. Okay, when this conversation was happening between myself and my producer, I was like, we need to be as understanding and curious as possible, because that is how I am coming to this conversation. The kind of things I see from Gen Zs on the timelines, I'm like, okay, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think this is even allowed, but we understand that this is the audacity y'all are rolling with, and we'd like to understand it better. We'd like to appreciate it better, because sometimes you're clashing heads with authority. So we need to really understand where your thought process is and how you maneuver your way. And so you're welcome to the show. If you're joining us, you're welcome. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Our WhatsApp is active. It's 055 1111 997. That's 055 1111 997. Now, I've got beautiful ladies. I'm surrounded by beautiful ladies in the studio. So for some strange reason, I've seen faces around the studio that I'm not supposed to see around this time. But show's produced by Mirabel Johnson. Oliver and Anakwiku are making it visible on social media. So I have I'm not going to mention your name, guy. Like, just forget it. I'm not going to mention your name. So I've got Zeenat Isabella, who's barrister, law candidate, and legal researcher. She's in studio with me this evening. Hi, how are you?
Hello, aKorfa.
Please check if your mic is on over there. Okay, it's on. Okay, say that again. Let me see.
Hi, aKorfa.
Okay, I think I can hear you better now. And I've got Ida as well. Ida, hi.
Hi.
Ida.
Hi.
Ida, say that hi. Okay, now I think I'm giving it away. All right, and then also we have Sheila Ziem, who's barrister, law candidate, and also a freelance writer who's joining us via Zoom. How are you doing? Can you unmute, because I think that we can't hear her. Can you say that again?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello. Now we can hear you properly. Right. So, ladies, I understand that sometimes, when you go to the office space, things happen. But first off, let me tell you this. We got a DM, okay, and it goes this way. A listener story basically says a 24-year-old colleague refused to answer work messages after 6 p.m. because she says it is outside her working hours. A 35-year-old colleague thinks she's lazy. Now, the boss thinks she's not committed, and some people also think that, so a colleague said that the lady thinks everyone else has normalized exploitation. Now, who is right? And what do you think about the situation first off? And I will start with, let me start with Sheila, okay? Sheila, what do you make of the situation first off?
I think it's a graphic representation of how Gen Z culture is actually. It looks on the surface as her being lazy or demanding or crossing the boundaries, but it's a typical representation of how Gen Zs are direct, they are bold, they are very clear in setting boundaries, and they advocate for flexibility and basically transparency.
Okay. Well, first off, though, when we're talking about Gen Z, we're talking about Generation Z, okay? So it generally refers to people from, say, late 1990s to early 2010s. So 1997, 2012 is what's commonly known. And so they are the generation that grew up with the internet, smartphones, social media, and many of them are now entering or are in, the workspaces. And so you find some colleagues coming online to share a thought or two. We had a meeting and then a Gen Z just said, you know what, I think I'm tired. I want to go and have, my lunch break right now and stuff like that. And people are like, oh my God, that never really happens. And so we're like, yeah, let's assemble them and let's get, into this conversation. Now, Ida, what do you make of the situation, the story I shared earlier?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you because this is an opportunity I've been waiting for a very long time. I get to defend my generation.
Okay.
So, from the story you just shared, I'd want to understand the arrangement between the bosses and the worker.
Okay.
What was the said closing time or the agreed closing time? Was it
that part didn't come in, but technically, a lot of the times it's like a 9 to 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So after 5, I'm not working.
I see.
Why are you texting me?
Okay.
Why are you texting me after 5? Because I'm done working. Why are you texting me? It's just as if you wouldn't do that to anybody, but because I am of a certain age or coming from a certain generation, I'm expected to respond. Not because of the environment or the work we are doing, but just because I am younger than you or I am a child in your eyes.
Okay. Right.
But it's just not right.
So
it's not right.
Okay, so I get where you're coming from, but you see, the conversation has been that a lot of us just had to adopt and find our way of adjusting to the situation. It doesn't sound appropriate, let's be honest, that, say we have an arrangement that says that we're working from now till 5 or 5:30. And after those hours, some way, somehow, I'm expected to respond to work calls, work texts, and some people get upset when they don't get a reply within a certain time frame. But so I understand. But then again, we are from. Why am I even putting myself in this conversation? We from the generation that I am coming from. I don't want to say we like to save face, but we like to. We just go with the culture, like the work culture that we came to meet. But that is not your situation. Zeenat, what about you? What do you make of this?
I have just one question. Couldn't the work have waited till the next day?
What if it couldn't have, though?
So I think that one thing that happens in corporate spaces is that there's an air of fake urgency.
Oh, jeez. We're going there.
Deadline. Oh my God.
Yeah, let's go.
They're trying to give deadlines that are not exactly supposed to be urgent or that need to be addressed as soon as possible, but to show that you are diligent, you are
dedicated,
earning your meager salary well. You need to also quickly jump on it, get it done to prove to your bosses. So I think that it depends on how urgent the work is. If it wasn't as urgent, then I'm on her side. But also, Ida asked you a question about
the arrangement initially,
the closing arrangements and stuff, and I'm also asking a question about how urgent the work was. I have an issue with all these stories that are shared online about Gen Z work ethics and Gen Z culture in workplaces and stuff. I think most of them are very exaggerated. So they come online. We are they've created a caricature of Gen Zs. We are these people that don't succumb to authority. We like to do whatever we want. We're lazy and all of that. So people create all sorts of stories. Don't give as much detail or don't give like necessary details. They put it online and then millennials just jump on it.
Not millennials, come on.
Because we're asking you important questions right now and all these details are missing.
I'm not there, yeah. I'm not there. I understand. So it's 7:18 right here on Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. And our conversation this evening is trying to understand working with Gen Zs. We're asking if they're difficult, if they're entitled, or they're just different, and we have not understood them properly. And so we've got 3 of them in studio, so we can properly appreciate the circumstances that they find themselves in. So we'll get into technology. We'll get into the idea of respect and all of that as well, because that gets thrown around as well. And we actually shared a story earlier. This is a little bit of recap. So the story says that a 24-year-old colleague refused to answer work messages after 6 p.m. because she says it is outside her working hours. And then a 35-year-old colleague thinks she's lazy. Now, the boss thinks she's not committed. And someone, at the office also lets us know that the Gen Z thinks everyone else has normalized exploitation. And then we're finding out from our guest what they make of the situation. And interestingly, they have all, there's no way they're going to agree that that's like a normal thing. And so we're here trying to understand it better. But if you are out there and you've got questions and you want to understand Gen Zs better as well, we're inviting you to join in the conversation. Our WhatsApp is 055 1111 997. Now, let me start off also by finding out as well, what do older generations misunderstand about you? Okay, so maybe Zeenat can start, and then I'll come to Sheila, and then I come to Ida.
Assertiveness.
Eesh.
First of all,
okay.
We're a very confident generation because we grew up with access to lots of information. We know, quote and unquote, we know our rights. We know what is expected of us. We know how far we are expected to go, and when we can assert our own authority. So let me talk about Ghana. Like in a cultural context, we're very docile, timorous set of people. Like as a country, respect your elders. Do what you're told. Don't question authority
you can't
and
talk
all of
as
that.
well. Yeah.
But Gen Zs don't succumb to those rules. We don't subscribe to those rules, and it comes across as being disrespectful. Right. So that's like one of the things they misunderstand about us.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Sheila? Do you want to add on?
Yeah, certainly. So my point of view is basically on boundaries. I feel like millennials or other generations misunderstand how key boundaries are to us and how we need to respect each other's boundaries. That's basically it.
Okay. Ida.
So I'd also add that I think they are just uncomfortable that we are not moldable. And yes, because we don't just adjust to anything.
Okay.
Because, like she said, we've seen, we appeared, or we came in an era that made us see a lot. So now we know a lot. And so we just don't want to go with whatever you're saying. We'd want to ask. You would want to know. Would want to inquire, because we have seen what not inquiring can do. Because I mean, you millennials and baby boomers adjust, and then now what? What's going on? I mean, we can see what is going on, so we just don't want to be the same as the baby boomers or the millennials. So we are just trying to find new ways to make it better, and I just think it makes them angry.
It makes them angry.
Yeah, it just pisses them off that we are not moldable. They want to mold us.
I like the word where you say, well, you are not moldable. Yeah. I like that. Okay, now let's get into the workspace, right? What do you think your the older colleagues do that you absolutely don't understand? Like there's certain things you probably have seen around you at work, and you're questioning it, right? I want us to get into that. What are some of these things, and what do you're thinking could be done better?
Sexual harassment.
Oh my God!
Big topic for me.
Let's get in there. Let's get in there.
Yeah. Sexual harassment. So I haven't been in a corporate like setting for a while. I do freelance work and I also like intern as part of non-academic requirements for Ghana School of Law. But when I was doing my service like a couple of years ago, I was working in a very big bank. It's a transnational bank. So I was working in one of their branches in Ghana. Now, I'm coming from uni, very idealistic. I'm thinking like everybody knows their boundaries. Everybody is like educated and trained about what's proper and what's improper. So you can see me. Like, I don't want to go into details, but like I go to work and then somebody, like, well, one of my colleagues then would often tell me how he wants me. How God. I'm smiling about it, but usually like when I talk about it, I get very pissed. He'll tell me how much he wants me, and then I would push back because I'm a very assertive person. Like, if I don't like something, I would make you know. Now you'd push back. First, it came across as if I didn't mean it, so like he would try some more. I would push back and he still do it. I would push back and I'll go like, oh, I'll tell HR. And everybody says, where's HR? Because there was a branch. There's no HR. Who is the HR? You have to go and tell the manager. Right? So it got so bad that there were times he would tell me, I will chop you. I will chop you. Like, I'm not even joking. I don't know why I'm smiling. I'm laughing about it because it's a very touchy thing for me. He would tell me, I'll chop you. Now, I'm very active on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter and you search Google, I've made a number of tweets about Google because of like that era, that time of my life. So you'd complain, and then one thing that was very shocking, older or millennial women in office spaces enable such behavior so much. You would complain, and the people you're expecting to like stand up for you because you should understand what I'm going through and how uncomfortable this is making me will tell you, oh, Google, oh, like, just like play along. He's just joking. No, he's not joking. Like, you shouldn't be telling me such things.
They said that.
Yeah. See, this is, I don't even see.
Listen,
see,
guys, the thing about, so then it comes again to the system that we came to meet and trying to make things different, and sometimes the backlash and the pushback that comes along with it. Sometimes some women don't want to be the one that is pointed at, and someone will go like, oh, we no say, because you know you're quote unquote trying to keep the peace. You know, you don't want to cause conflict and all of that.
Why?
But why? Baby girl, ask me why. I have no idea. And I like that we're having this conversation now, because we need to do better. I've been saying this for a while now, that when you know better, you do better, because we need to be asking these questions. Now, I said some time back that when you're having conversations with people, it can be the randomest conversation ever, and people will find sexual innuendos. They will put it in there
all the time.
And because you are the girl, you're the woman, you need to, my generation, we need to act like, oh, it's very awkward for us, but
you just adjust.
You need to adjust. You need to find because you don't want to, mess the harmony or whatever it is called. So I like the fact that you took it on and you decided to do something about it. Now, speaking of doing something about it, when you were posting about the Google on Twitter, did any of your work people ever see the
No, they don't have access.
They don't have
Twitter,
okay, right. Zeenat, what about you? Like things that happen in the workspace that you're hoping that, will be different or the older generation understands? Sheila.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Sheila?
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Thank you.
So my take is basically on how we have normalized unpaid labor.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, we have normalized unpaid labor. That it is certainly so essential for you to do unpaid labor. There's no talks about you being paid fairly for your work, and it looks like something that you are supposed to be grateful for, basically, for learning the job without being paid. But the reality is you need to be compensated. So I believe that we should have more conversation on that, actually. That's a huge problem.
Well, the bit about the unpaid labor part. So, actually came to meet. No, so the reason, it's not a laughing matter, guys. It's serious because you see, I remember when I was also getting into the workspace, I had this conversation with someone and I was told point blank, I think you start with internship, you know, you get in there, try to try to understand the space. And someone will tell you that when I started, I didn't get paid to be an intern. I didn't, you know, not paid per se, but like there were no allowances giving and stuff like that. So you need to also go through it. Because I went through it, you have to go through it as well. And so I feel like that's why we're where we are, because no one is pushing back. We're asking, but if the labor laws or whatever it is does not support what we're asking for, I don't know how we're going to make this work or change the conversation around it, because I would have loved to have been receiving allowances because I am transporting myself to the place, right? And people are like, oh, that's why you have a family. Well, but you want me to be independent of thought. You want me to be able to make decisions for myself. And finally, you will rely on my expertise moving forward. Why are you also not thinking that I'm allowed some allowance, basically?
So I think that's why they just label Gen Zs, because they are the ones that will talk about it. So let's just label them in a negative light to shut them up or shut them down or something.
But I know some millennials who actually love you guys, because you
those are the woke ones. Those are the woke ones, actually.
It's not even that. I have a big issue
with the fact that we're waiting for you guys to say it.
It's not even that. So I think that we are allowing descriptions. I can't find a better word for it right now, but we're allowing descriptions that apply to societies that are not like our society. Say they would do research in America or in the UK, and then they would apply it to us. So because certain people born in the years 1997 to 2012 behave a certain way in America, it means that people in Ghana born in these years also behave in those ways. But then such generational differences are brought on by social factors, cultural factors that may not America's, like things happening in America or things that happen in America to inform the behaviors of, say, millennials or Gen Zs does not really apply to us. In Ghana, for example, I don't think there's much of a divide in, say, like older Gen Zs and, say, younger millennials. I don't think there's much of a divide.
Okay.
Do you get it? But then social media is all like millennials versus Gen Zs, so everybody wants to take it upon themselves. Even older Gen Zs, people 97, 99, sometimes claim they are not part of the Gen Z group because of how we're labeled. Do you get it?
Yeah. So the labeling also has
a problem.
Yeah, okay. Now, what does respect mean to you at your workspace? Let me come to you, Ida.
I think respect to me in the workspace is respecting my time, my space. And
your space, explain for that. Like your space, how?
Boundaries.
You can't just walk into my space and demand something or just be there just because it's an office space. When you walk into my space, it is my space. How I manage the space is how you have to manage it when you get into my space. So, for instance, if I'm at my desk and I'm doing something and you want something, you can't just walk there, just tap on the table, you know what, I want you to do this and this for me. No, you approach me, because that is a place where I am trying to focus, trying to channel some kind of energy. You don't just walk in there and disrupt everything just because you can.
Okay, and there's this thing too that I don't know where I feel like I'm going to spill something, but there's a thing too that there was a time that there were lots of texts coming, and I think the messaging was the same, and then you were frustrated because you were like, I get where you're coming from. Like, why are you sending the same thing
too many
once?
times?
Yeah.
It's disruptive. And before we even move on, I'd like to talk about the servitude in the workspaces.
Hey, servitude.
The servitude in the work is crazy. It's very crazy. So what? Gen Zs are in a space with a bunch of older people and they naturally have to be labor.
We are the bunch of older people knowing.
So, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and they naturally have to be your labor. Okay. So when you're trying to pick something from the next desk and you're not reaching it, pick it up for me. When you want to send somebody to get something, you know what? Go and get it for me. We are here to work. In that instance, we are all adults trying to find something for ourselves. I'm not your labor personnel. It's not right. It is not right, and they need to understand that if I'm doing all of these extra things for you, it's a favor, and I actually like you that I'm doing it.
Okay, right. Okay, Zeenat,
I have something to add to what you're saying. So once again, me and my bank NSS story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I was in operations and technology, basically back office work.
Okay.
So I handled cashless transactions, funds transfer, check clearing, T-bill purchasing, rediscounts, all of those things. Like, I did a lot of work. Now, so I went there, I got there. My supervisor was a much older woman. She had a very warm, motherly look. So I'm thinking that, I'll have like a good time here. Now, I think I have to say this before I continue. The two people, my predecessors going back 2 times had been boys. So let's go back to... Okay, so I'm introduced to her. This is bank job. You are at risk of making operational losses. Like, you need to pay attention and all of that. So even when we were being trained, we were told that ask. Don't assume you know. Ask for help as many times. Now, in training me, say check clearing, she'll go she would open whatever software we were using then, show me once, and expect you to do it. So I had a little notebook. I would write all those things down. That wasn't a problem. I'm a quick learner. When she noticed that I was very good at the job, she would come to work late. Aside coming to work late, she would come and she wouldn't be at her desk. She would spend hours in the canteen. I'm not like, she would spend hours in the canteen. Now, I'm someone that I have things to prove to myself. Like, I have to prove to myself that I came here, I did well, and I left like on a good note. So I'm going to show up. That's not a problem. I'm doing the job and all of that. But there were like very vital things that I felt were too risky to leave in the hands of an NSP, but they'll leave it in my hands. I do all of that. Then someone at customer service also expects that when she's going on lunch break, I'm supposed to come there and sit in for her. But I have checks to clear. I have checks. So I have checks to clear. I have T-bills to buy, and some of these things are timed. So after 12, you can't do some of these transactions anymore. I'm excited to like leave my work, come to your desk, do your work, come and do mine, and all of that. So what they said when I was leaving, like my exit party or whatever, they were like, "Oh, she's very good, but she complains." Oh, wow. What was the complaint? You can't give me your job to do.
That's it.
I'm not expected to do your job.
So while all this was happening, you were raising these concerns with them along the lines?
Like, nobody cares. Who are you telling?
Okay.
Who are you do you know how fast I ran from that place? They wanted to extend my contract by some months. I said, no, I'm going back to school.
I see. Right. Well, it's 7:37 right here on Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM, and we're having the conversation about working with Gen Zs, asking if they're entitled, difficult, or just different. And joining me in studio, we've got Ida, we have Zeenat, and via Zoom, we've got Sheila as well. Now, I want us to talk about, say, feedback. So if maybe your boss would want to criticize the work you've done, how do you prefer to receive that feedback? Let me start with you, Sheila.
Yeah, so on my end, I'll just prefer you to be direct communication. Don't dilly-dally, just straight to the point. Tell me, let's be transparent. Let's just go straight to the point. I don't want any behind the scenes or you'd like me to read between the lines. I cannot. So I would prefer straightforward answers.
When
and
you say
feedback.
when you say dilly-dallying, can you give like examples?
For instance, probably in a bit to maybe minimize the impact, quote unquote, probably thinking that it would hurt me or something. I would just prefer that you'd just clearly tell me how you'd like it to be. Okay. That I'm not impressed with your work. I would like you to do it like this. I prefer this, instead of trying to probably mitigate the damage in your eyes, basically.
Okay. All right, Ida.
I also think there should be some form of emotional regulation there.
Yeah.
Okay, you can correct me without yelling. You don't have to shout. You can calmly tell me, I don't like what you submitted, change this, change that. You don't have to shout. So now the respect comes in when you retaliate and it looks like you're not respectful. But I'm just telling you that you can say this and you can say that. You don't necessarily have to be shouting, or you don't have to be saucy about it. Then your boss is giving you a silent treatment. For what's this? No. Just
can I say something?
Yeah.
Sorry. He's when you're done.
Ida, you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Sheila.
Yeah, so, well, I do not doubt that perhaps is something that has okayed. But in my experience, to be fair, I've not, as Zeenat has also said, I'm also a BL candidate. So, yes, I've had NSS experience. I've also done internships and things. I've not necessarily been in the corporate space as much. But in my experience, I'm being a bit defensive towards the other generations. I think the feedback has been, in my experience, very straightforward. There has not been yelling. That's what I want to put across.
Okay. All right.
There's no,
What about you, Zeenat?
I'm going to piggyback off of Ida's point, because I'm not your daughter. I'm not your niece. Like, please be respectful, because some older, like, I don't say you people.
Oh, go ahead.
But like,
feel free.
They will tell you, I have your kind at home.
Yes.
Or I have like someone your age at home. So then they bring in the age or the fact that like they are way older than you, or they add their frustrations, because most of them have not experienced any career mobility. They've been in the same position for 25 years and they have like pent up frustration. So if you come in with all your ideals and ideas and whimsy and stuff about life and how like you will make it, you have a bright future ahead of you, they just want to humble you. So even when it's not necessary, even if it's necessary, but then they add in all these things that don't need to be added. Talk to me nice, right? Talk to me nice. And one thing too, this might sound you're not my auntie. I'm not supposed to call you auntie, uncle. Why?
We were going to ask about the titles bit though. Like, so what do you think? Like, when you are in the workspace, you call the person by their name. You don't add any titles.
No, I don't add, and I'm respectful about it.
How would you mention aKorfa in a respectful way?
What?
How aKorfa?
It's just aKorfa.
Yeah.
What would you say? Mommy aKorfa?
Hell no.
Auntie?
Heck no, you can't say that. So I'm asking this because we recently have someone around who
Oh my god, yeah.
who is finding it so difficult to just mention the person's name and says, today this person I don't want to say this on the radio. This person said, okay, ma'am, aKorfa. I'm like, Jesus Christ, why? And this person can't. So I think it's more of, the space you find yourself in. Because here at Multimedia as well, we encourage that you call people by their names because it's a working environment, So that is there. And sometimes I think, just as Zeenat mentioned earlier, our socialization and our upbringing, you want to be respectful, and so you feel like adding an aunt or an uncle to someone's name will show that or will express that properly. But moving forward, I think a lot of people are now doing their best to just go by mentioning people's name and stuff like that. Yeah. And I want us to delve into technology just a little bit as well. You grew up in a space where everything more or less was available to you. Do you think that makes you productive or more distracted?
Productive.
Oh, that was very quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gen Zs are very entrepreneurial. How many lash texts? How many? What is it? How many? I have friends from high school who have like thriving hair businesses. I have like some of them have open like physical locations, like salons, like very nice salons and all of that. I have people who are in corporate, but like maybe they sell clothes or they sell some other things. It all came from access to technology. Like it may not be like such a straightforward thing to explain, but like I think it all came from there. So personally, I know how to make wigs. I know how to do beaded bags. I know how to do so many things because I just sit down and I'm like, what hobby should I pick up today? And I go on YouTube and then I can learn because I'm a quick learner too. So whenever I decide to commercialize like these skills I have, it would be very easy to make so much money. So that's how like growing up like with technology has also like helped us.
Yeah. Ida, what do you think?
Yeah, I also think we are very, very productive because it's a bit hard to find a Gen Z doing one thing. They're always trying to diversify and do more things, and we are so lucky because of the things that we have access to now. We don't necessarily need like 5 years of experience to grasp something. We just have to learn it.
Throw in the shade. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah. So all you have to do is just look it up, and then you would find it. So I think that's affected our work life as well. And also, this is not shade, but I'm just saying they employ Gen Zs just because they can't pay their ones with their 5 years experience. That's what they do.
Contract staffs.
Yeah, they can't pay them. And so they employ Gen Zs and think they can give us less. But we know what we've learned. We know what we've seen. We know what we are bringing on board. I know Gen Zs that have crazy ideas. The person didn't need to have done the thing for 5 or 10 years. The person knows what he or she is about. So we don't need that kind of time or that much time to just grasp something. And this is all because of technology. And I think it's really helped us a lot.
Right. Well, there's a thing that people have expressed concern about that has to do with you're always on the phone, and there are times that you're streaming while you have to be in the workspace, okay? And when you're being asked, some people go like, oh, like that's what it is, or you know that you don't have to be live at your office space. Why are you looking at my face like, but right? Like it's an office space,
and you're streaming,
and you're streaming, and
you're underpaying them.
No,
they have to do something.
I have a good question for you.
Okay, so it's a way of making more money because you're not being paid well where you are.
It's one of the reasons.
So the streaming will be happening.
No, it's not ideal, but I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Is the problem that is distracting?
Yes.
aKorfa.
She said aKorfa.
How? I can bet you someone of your age. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I can bet
go ahead and age me.
I can bet you know someone of your age or even older who is more addicted to TikTok than 3 Gen Zs. Why are we making this a Gen Z problem when it's everybody's problem now?
But the reason I think people have concerns about it is at the workplace, and
Well, I would understand that because it can be destructive. You're in an office space, so streaming, talking, doing other things, it can be destructive.
But do you think that there might be a time where while you're streaming, you might end up streaming sensitive information, and because you think that you're trying to make extra money, you forget that. Have you ever thought of that?
I just think that has to do with the individual. Yeah. Like you should have tact, you should have awareness. You don't need to publish everything. So I think it has to do with the individual. Personally,
but is the awareness there?
For some people, but you can't make it a whole generation's problem. Really.
But a lot of you do it.
You just box us into one group. Gen Zs are like this, but we're all
but you're boxing
people.
The whole millennials into one box.
All of you.
It is not.
Because it's all of you.
Who started the Gen Z millennial war?
You
Gen Z
guys,
started.
did
It was
it. You
Gen
guys
Z.
did
No,
it.
we started as a way of admiring what you do. But
Yeah,
then,
right.
Then it,
Yeah, right. Like
then
yeah,
it
right.
went sideways. But Sheila, do you have anything to add to what we've said so far?
Yeah, so exactly. Thank you. So I wanted to weigh in on what she said, the comments she said concerning the streaming.
streaming,
and
yes.
there have been instances we have seen situations where people have streamed very sensitive documents, like at the banks. It's not intentional, but in streaming, these informations come about. Yes, there should be some level of awareness. But again, as Zeenat said, I think in as much as yes, Gen Z, we have, not all of us, but it seems like the situation is prevalent among us, some of us. It's a general thing. I think social media is a thing that has captivated everybody. Everybody is having issues dealing with regulating time in general. So I think yes, to an extent, it's a general thing.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got a few more minutes before we check out. But when Zeenat was speaking, she talked about, sometimes people have been at their work post for a lot of years, and so they've got pent-up anger and stuff like that. Is it unrealistic for a 25-year-old to say that, you want to be at a particular job for, say, the number of years? Let's use the example that you gave earlier. Do you see Gen Zs doing that, where they're staying at one job for... Hey,
No.
oh, mommy, okay.
No.
It is not happening. Why do you think that is?
I think, personally, I think it's because of the things we've seen and the things we are exposed to. Because now you can stream and get a corporate job. You can make beats and then work
Make
your 9 to
money.
5. You can make music and do some other things. So it would be very hard to want to stick to one thing. You'd have to be extremely, I don't know the kind of passion you would have to have for that thing. And I'm not being materialistic, but they have to pay you really, really well for you to be stuck in that one place for 25 years. That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Zeenat?
So I think that we are learning lessons by looking at what is happening with you guys and the people before you. We've seen how sometimes being loyal to one firm, one corporate organization is not rewarding. We've seen how, especially in Ghana, how many people have risen through the ranks in maybe one corporation they started in.
Yes.
You can only rise as much before they bring in someone they know or someone who,
Yeah, and that's why they're bitter.
Yeah.
So-
That's why they're better.
Because they've worked so hard and they are still there. They never grow. So it will make you angry, I think.
So let me share a story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a friend who's working in a government organization, and a colleague of his he met there. She's been there for years, and her grade hasn't moved up by much since she's been there. Now the reasons are numerous, right? But for him, he's seen how her life is, how much she regrets that she didn't
Push
get out
for
of that
more, okay.
place. Exactly. And he's actually he came in on a higher grade. You know how these
Yeah.
he came in on a higher grade than her, and he's already looking outside for better opportunities.
Oh.
But she's stuck because she has kids. She has responsibilities. She has things she has to do. And then where's she going to start from?
Right.
Do you get it? So
Yeah.
he's looking at her. He's like, no, I don't want to be here couple of, 20 years or something and have regrets like her. So we're learning from you people. Thank God you made the mistakes.
Oh
first
my
and then-
God. Well, let's do so we'll end our session with something that we're calling If You Could Teach Millennials, or we're calling it You Teach Me, I Teach You. Now, what one lesson would you teach about boundaries?
I think millennials could learn to set boundaries and stick to them. Don't waver. I don't know, but I'm saying it really doesn't serve you any purpose if you waver those boundaries. And so just set your boundaries and stand. If you're not picking calls after work and that's a boundary that you've set for yourself, stick to it. Don't let anything change the way you feel about that.
Okay, Zeenat as well.
Respect people's boundaries. So don't feel entitled to someone's time or access to them or someone's space. When she was sharing
Exactly
what she was about boundaries, one thing I wanted to add was, you shouldn't expect me to laugh at the time you're laughing. Like, you come to work, I already have like things I'm dealing with, right? But I come to work and aKorfa wants to
Be all friendly,
I want
bubbly.
to talk to you. It's morning. I want to have a quiet time.
Yeah.
Like, so respect people's boundaries. When people push back because you're encroaching on their spaces, don't be defensive.
Yes.
Understand people. We are different people. You shouldn't be offended by those things.
Okay. Sheila, on the boundaries part.
Yeah, so my take is basically on time. You started our whole conversation with the story on the woman who the time story basically. I am a strong believer in, if it's a thing that you are estimating that we are working from 9 to 5, work emails do not come after that. Respecting time is part of setting boundaries. That's my take.
Okay. And then there's one lesson about technology. If you have the opportunity to teach a millennial one lesson about technology, very, very quick.
You are not too old to get updated with the times. Me, I don't know this, so help me with this. Like, you can easily learn. You don't need me to come and boot your computer for you, or you don't need me to
Learn.
Goodness, we have things
Install the app.
Learn. You're not too old.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Lesson about flexibility.
I think to the millennials.
Yes.
Yes, so
Flexibility.
I have a take on that.
Okay, Sheila has a take on that.
Okay. So one thing I also noticed is the fact that sometimes other generations believe that physical presence translates to results. So on flexibility, we should normalize remote working. The emphasis should be on output and productivity, not necessarily being in the office to get it done.
Okay.
That's my